Hello, I am David W. Parker. This is Programming Today. I learned Svelte version SvelteKit series. We're going to go ahead and look at part 2 finally of implementing dark mode. And this time we're going to make sure that our SvelteKit application works both with and without JavaScript enabled. And we're going to do that using an endpoint, cookies. Let's go ahead and look at our application here. So a little difference, I have a little icon up here. Can go ahead and trigger it on and off. If I refresh, it's going to remember that I have proper mode set. It's going to load it directly right away. I can disable JavaScript here over in the console. I can still refresh over here. I can still trigger it and refresh, and I have the proper mode set. So how do we do all of that? Let's dig right in. If you don't recall, my name is David W. Parker. I make screencasts like this. Support me on Patreon if you will. Buy me a coffee, etc. So, a few things quickly. Just threw on this sun outline and sun moon on there, as well as putting those into the index here for my icons. Have them be importable. I have a new store. It's going to go ahead and be called theme. This is the writable store. So if you recall, we're using that for the local storage. And it's going to have mode of dark as well as color of blue. We're not doing colors yet, but we will implement those in a future episode. If you want an example of that, you could check out my blog, David W. Parker here, and I have different color themes set for both light and dark mode. So I have both my light and dark mode and then a bunch of different color themes for each. So that's that. We'll do that in another episode. So here's our application, light and dark mode. Let's continue to look at what we have changed. So first thing here in our nav is I've imported the toggle theme as well as the theme. Then our outline. I may go ahead and throw those all into its own, this entire section into its own component. But for now, I did not. It's an A link. It's just a GET request for now. If you did this proper, because your GET should be idempotent, meaning it shouldn't change state, you might want to make this a form. It's kind of like we did sign out here. And that way we can go ahead and have the endpoint that lives at app theme not work on GET requests. But it's not that important for our application because all it does is change the color. So I just kind of went and labeled it as such. It needs to have a block of class for the icons, and then it's going to have the same class as all the others above. It's going to have an area label because it doesn't have any text. We want it to be nice and happy for accessibility. And then when we click it, we're going to go ahead and call the toggle theme. And we're going to have our two icons in here displayed for dark mode or displayed for regular non-dark mode. So those are the nav changes. And a lot of this, some of this anyway, was the same as before. Go ahead and look at this toggle theme here. I'm going to take our theme mode and we're going to check if it's the theme of light. And if it is, we're going to call theme and we're going to set it and then just change the mode, the only difference. And we're going to use the operator spread operator with the current theme so that the way we don't lose the color. And then I just have another little really called update here with theme dark and light, and then the other one is update document theme light and dark. So, and that's just going to take in the name. That's going to be for the cookie name. And this is just if you want it to be reusable. We could probably go ahead and get rid of this and just say theme equals, have it say update theme. But anyway, dark first class, that is going to be the one that's going to be added, and then the other is going to be the class that is removed. So if it's light mode, we're changing it to dark mode. If it's dark mode, we're changing it to light mode. What we're going to do is we're going to be setting a cookie here on the base path, and it basically never expires. We're going to be going ahead and updating the core element and getting the class list and removing the old light as well as adding a new one, dark. And we're also going to ahead and remove it from the main document as well. here and here. Let's go ahead and if you look back at our nav here, we have this is our endpoint. So that's this endpoint here, app theme. And again, I said this before when we were working on our previous endpoints, you can put them wherever you want. A lot of people like to leave them in app. I didn't really felt like this belonged under users or posts. It may be belong to a user question mark, maybe eventually I have it update and post and we store this on the user itself. So that way, maybe on a different device, they have the same exact theme. But for now, it just lives under app. We're going to go ahead and import cookie. It's a TypeScript file, so we're going to go ahead and get our request handler. This is just our file definition here for the method. Go ahead and using cookie, we're going to get the headers out, and we're going to check the theme. And then if the theme is currently dark, we're going to get the new theme, which is going to be light. And otherwise, if the current theme is not dark, then we'll go ahead and set it to dark. We will go ahead and set a status of 303, set a header location, so it'll redirect to the home page if you click on it. And then we're going to go ahead and set that cookie with that theme. And of course, path of / and this one doesn't need to be like the user one in the sense that it doesn't need to be inaccessible by cookies. We don't care if this gets stolen, and no body. So this is what enables us to do the toggling with JavaScript off. So let's go back here again, make sure JavaScript is off and disabled. And if I go ahead and refresh this page here, let's say I'm on the About page, and then I click it, it's going to redirect to the home page. And that's what the location does, but it changed the theme. So that is our endpoint. And that is what is one of the things that enables us to do this with JavaScript off. Now, a couple more things here. In our get session here, we're going to go ahead and grab the cookies theme. Otherwise, we're going to default it to dark. And then as well, in our handle down here, we're going to go ahead and parse it out. And if we don't have a theme yet, we're going to go ahead and grab one from the, if there's a query for it, where you could say, saying theme equals blah, get it that way. Or we're going to default it to dark and then also push that into our cookies array and make sure we set that within our handle. So that way we guarantee that we have a theme. Finally, I believe layout is the last file here. Yep. So let's go ahead and take a look at layout. There's some interesting things in here, some things I like and some things I don't like. If you have better solutions, I would love to hear them. So first thing is in our session, our load here, we're going to get to session. Just like we had our user set, what we're going to do is we're going to get the theme out. So this is coming from hooks, get session. And we're going to pass this down as a local theme via props. And I'll show you why in just a second. Have export local theme here. And then all the way down here, I have this ID 4. So this is the one that is being toggled with a local theme. And the reason we need to do this is because of server-side rendering, we're not going to know what the theme is until after it's been mounted. So this allows us to use this session and to have this already placed onto the document. So that way everything below it gets themed respectively. Now, there's a couple other little things that I'm doing as well to work for the server-side rendering, as well as a little preloading to not have the jarring flash. So if you've been on a website where it flashes light to dark, dark to light, it's often because it doesn't have the theme set before it needs to be set. So in this instance here, I have a Svelte head tag here. Insert a script, and I'm going to say if we don't have theme in local storage yet, and we want to match the dark theme, we'll go ahead and on the document root, we're going to add a class of dark. Otherwise, we're going to remove class of dark. And then we'll also set a document cookie for light and dark respectively. And if we do have it in local storage, we're going to go ahead and get it and add it to the document root. Now, this doesn't affect this core one here because we don't have access to that during the server-side rendering. So we can't do get element by ID at that point. And then we're going to, within the on mount, we're going to do a lot of the same thing. But the main difference is now we have access to our store. And we're just going to initialize it using the local storage and then set it into the theme. And if we don't already have it, we're just going to go ahead and use the local storage. So it is a little interesting. I'm not 100% a fan of exactly how all of this works, in the sense that we kind of are double dutying. We have the theme in both cookies as well as local storage. And the local storage one has both the mode of light and color of blue, versus over here, it's just the theme. Now let's look at my website again real quick, just to show you how I'm doing this as well. I have the theme and theme color as my two cookies. Again, this is so it works with and without JavaScript enabled. So, and that way users can have the best experience for them. It is a little repetitive, like I said, but it makes things very easy to do for both types of users. And unfortunately, you do need to have the cookie because they don't have access to local storage on server-side rendering. So that's it. This is a way for you to have a nice rendered out dark mode and light mode for server-side rendering as well as non-server-side rendering. And let me know what you think. If you have better suggestions on how to kind of tweak some of this, then that's always great too. Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, like, and support me on Patreon or buy me a coffee. Thank you.